What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today I have for you a big box good, the Bose SoundLink Color 2 I picked up at Best Buy for $129. Today we're doing an unboxing of first impressions, a sound test. Let's see what comes in the box, how easy this is to set up, and just how good of quality the item is. Let's also compare this to previous speakers we've reviewed on this channel. We'll talk about why, even though at $130, this is a good option. Let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and first impressions and sound test. So here in front of us is the Bose SoundLink Color 2 in black. This comes in roughly 4 different other colors. It comes in white, neon yellow, neon green, and neon blue. The neon blue is like a Miami blue. It's like a light sky blue. And the yellow is, like I said, like a neon light, something you would wear in the street if you were walking or riding your bike in the street so that cars could see you. Even though it looks small on the front of the box, it's compact. You can take it with you. It's water resistant. So like I said, beach, pool, lake, things of that nature, even though it looks small. And for $129, it's smaller than other bigger, louder speakers for less on the channel we reviewed. But the good news here is it's a thick box, so should be a thick speaker. It's kind of chunky, it's kind of brick-like, but good sound reproduction I expect out of this. And like I said, because it's water resistant, let's test out just how good of a job it does at reproducing sound, getting it wet. So stick around for that demonstration, but for now, you can see it's a great image on the front of the box. You can see just how nice this speaker is. It's a large front speaker grill with the Bose logo. So like I said, good sound reproduction I expect out of this. Even though it's a tiny speaker, it's expensive at $130. On this channel, we've reviewed several other speakers cheaper than this that have sounded amazing. So let's go ahead and check this out. Should also be really good build quality and should be fairly durable. So, okay, so now that we have the speaker out of the box, you can see just what comes with it. It's a simple setup, a user manual with some warranty information and quick and easy setup and installation steps. It also comes in about 15 different languages. We'll talk about this a little bit more in detail here, but first and foremost, you can see that the speaker, it's in immaculate condition, came very nicely packaged and protected. You can see that it's a rubber silicone shell with the speaker underneath. This shell, not removable. It stays on the speaker permanently, but like I said, it's water resistant and should also offer some form of drop resistance. And of course, last but not least, to charge and power the speaker, a micro USB to USB charging cable. Now, in the user manual, Bose obviously suggests charging this up before using it, but what I think it implies is using this maybe on the patio or by the pool if you're entertaining or throwing a party or just want music playing, having this plugged into the wall so that it doesn't die so you can play continuously shouldn't be an issue, and I think that is possible. So we'll test that out and see how well that works. But as it pertains to the user manual, Bose does suggest downloading the Bose Connect app. Now, the ease of use will largely depend on whether the speaker operates without the Bose Connect app, which I do believe it will. So in this product review, first impressions demonstration, however you want to refer to this video, not are we going to download the app and connect it, simply we'll connect it to Bluetooth and play just to demonstrate how easy this is to set up. So like I said, just to summarize, they do recommend charging this up. I think this can actually work plugged into the wall at the same time. We'll find that out. And of course, will this require the Bose Connect app? So let's go ahead and talk about the speaker itself and talk about some of the controls at the top and just how simple this is to operate. Now, before we get into the first impressions and talk about the features, the first point I need to make is this port on the side. Of course, you can charge it here and also daisy chain this speaker to other SoundLink Color 2s, but most importantly, just keep in mind, even though the speaker is water resistant, this port is open and not covered. So if this goes for a dunk, not good, right? The bad news here and the take back, like I said, had this been covered, not an issue, but as you can see, it's wide open. Just be cognizant of that, not to dunk this in the pool. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the functions of the speaker itself. So at the top, of course, is a power button. My first impressions are it's tactile, it's clicky, responsive. No chime or indicator that the speaker is on, so probably we'll need to charge this, but as you can see, a Bluetooth connection button, what also looks to be a pair button. So pair this to a separate SoundLink color too. Aside from this one, you've got a minus key to turn the volume down, you've got a voice assistance key, and most importantly, a plus key. Now, what you'll probably notice is, like I said, the buttons are clicky, they're responsive, they're tactile. This, in turn, should aid, of course, in potentially switching tracks. So let's test that out, of course. But as you can tell, really nice, high-quality speaker with tactile buttons that are clicky, good quality, easy to operate, and simple to understand, I think. Like I said, just a power button, the Bluetooth, a pair button, plus, minus, that was backwards, but a voice assistant, and nothing more, nothing less. So at the beginning of the video, the first question I had, can this work while plugged into the wall? And as you can see, it does work plugged into the wall. So perhaps if you're throwing a party or maybe just enjoying yourself out on the back patio and want this speaker plugged in without worrying about it dying, kind of a mouthful, you can absolutely positively do that. You can see that it's plugged in and also the Bluetooth is connected. So let's go ahead and do a couple of sound impressions here. The speaker is set up, it's connected to Bluetooth. It was extremely easy to do. As soon as you turn the speaker on, by the way, with just a click of the power button, it automatically goes into setup mode. All you need to do is, of course, hold down the multifunction key, which is this key here between the minus and the plus sign. That is to set the language to English. It does operate in roughly 10 to 15 other languages. You can see those languages for yourself in the user manual. Now that we've done this setup and installation, it's extremely easy, it's simple, it's fast. Let's do a couple of sound impressions. So I'm plugging this speaker. You can see that, like I said earlier, you've got a microphone at the top there. It's 3 ports. You've got a front firing speaker here. And then at the back of the speaker, of course, is what looks to be a tweeter. So how this performs up against a wall will be one of the tests we do. Of course, let's test this out in just plain open space to see how loud and clear it is. And then last but not least, what we'll do is pour a little bit of water on top of the speaker, maybe lying down on its back like this, and try to get some of the water caught in the speaker grill here to see if it affects just how good the speaker sounds. So without further ado, let's begin this sound impressions. Okay, so first impressions with the speaker in the open, listening to it from behind, a little bit muffled, not the best sounding, but boy, when you stand on the opposite side in front of the speaker, looking directly at the speaker, it's extremely loud, it's extremely clear. This speaker, I would say, outperforms most speakers twice or 3 times its size, whether that be cheaper or more expensive. This is a phenomenal sounding speaker. So I think, as you heard, we tested the speaker out using several volumes and also several EQ settings. So loudest at 100%, it's extremely loud, it's extremely clear. You can tell the build quality of the speaker because no rattling or creaking. It performs at the highest level without any issues, no idiosyncrasies in sound compared to other lesser expensive speakers that actually break up at 100% volume. Now, the downside to this is at 50% volume, drastically quieter than 100%. So yes, of course, half the volume, but compared to 100%, not expecting the drastic drop off that I heard and listened to. So a little bit disappointing that at 50% volume, it's quiet. Now at 20% volume, it's probably even quieter. I never listened to it at 25%, but at 75%, it was reasonably loud. Probably a fair amount of loudness. So listening to this on your back patio, 75% would probably be just enough to not upset your neighbors. Of course, 100% would definitely start the party, get the party going, jolt the party. It's loud, it's clear, but like I said, at 100%, it's so loud, so clear that definitely would upset your neighbors just a little bit. So at 100% volume, this performed exceptionally well. 50%, just a little bit on the quiet side. 75% was perfect, I think. Great sounding speaker. Let's do a couple of those demonstrations like I mentioned earlier and wrap up this first impressions. Okay, so now that we've done a basic sound impressions, it sounds amazing. Of course, we've tried it 3 different volume settings, 4 different EQ settings. We've also put this up against a wall. Sound production, as you heard, great. The unfortunate part, just a little bit muffled from behind. I think you can tell when it's up against a wall, for example, in the last demonstration, just how muffled it is. But last, but most importantly not least, because this is water resistant, what I have noticed about water resistant speakers in the past, they are subject to water getting clogged in the speaker and the sound being affected. So let's go ahead and play again, this time at half volume, some copyright free music, and then we'll pour on top just a little bit of water here. Okay, so as you can see on its back side, horrible sound reproduction. So the speaker itself should be fine, getting a little bit wet should be fine, but taking a heavy splash, getting caught in the rain, will affect the sound quality of the speaker. Now expect this to sound affected for probably 10 to 15 minutes, and then once it dries, it should return to normal. But as you can tell, even though a water resistant speaker should remain well protected and operable for future use, if it gets caught in the rain, will definitely have an immediate effect on how good it sounds and how well it can reproduce music. Anyways, guys, that has been an unboxing and first impressions of the Bose SoundLink Color 2 I picked up at Best Buy for $129. Because I picked this up at Best Buy, that makes it a big box good. Today, of course, you saw what comes in the box, a user guide, simple and easy to set up. Like I said, straightforward, plus, minus. There's a multifunction button, the power button, and a Bluetooth button, as well as a synchronization button that allows you to sync this with other Bose speakers. So easy to use. The drawback, I would say, even though this is a water resistant speaker, this cover on the side is open, so not submergible, can get wet, and also somewhat shockproof because of the rubber lining, but not submergible. Now, regarding the sound impressions, phenomenal sound quality. Back up against the wall, great sound reproduction. In open space, a little bit muddy from the back side of the speaker. Of course, like I said, there is a secondary speaker. It's probably some kind of tweeter. Of course, the front speaker is the main speaker, but in an open area, definitely from the front side of the speaker, it's loud, it's clear, but muddy from the back. Now, speaking about muddy, we tried this in 3 different EQ settings and 3 different volumes, a bass booster, a bass reducer, and a flat. In previous sound impressions videos for other speakers, a flat EQ setting is usually my go-to setting. It's loud, it's full, it's rich. It covers all of the bases in terms of sound reproduction. Bass booster, of course, does exactly what you would imagine. It raises the bass. Now, like I said, a little bit muddy. So bass booster mode at 100% volume, it's muddy, not the best sounding. It sounds like it's behind a wall. Sounds like the back of the speaker does. Like I said, just a little bit dull and uninspiring and not as exciting as the front of the speaker. Like I said, at 100% volume, if the speaker is facing forward, it's loud, it's clear. At 100% volume on your patio, you'll upset your neighbors for sure. So 75%, like I said, is the ideal volume. Reduce bass, and it's extremely loud and extremely clear, almost like a megaphone or speakerphone or loud phone. And like I said, also, because it's water resistant but not submergible, I think you saw how pouring a glass of water on top of the speaker affected the sound reproduction, and it did so negatively. So just keep that in mind. Dropping this in the pool, it would probably either damage or just sound pretty bad for at least the next 10 to 15 minutes. So if it does get exorbitantly wet, if it gets doused or soaked, let it dry out for 10 to 15 minutes because it will affect the sound reproduction. But overall, for $129, it's a little bit expensive because obviously looking at it, it's small, it's compact, it's portable. You wouldn't expect something this size to cost this much, but really it punches above its weight, pretty much destroys anything beneath it. And like I said, a much larger speaker than this, even at a less expensive price, this compares. So great portable sounding speaker. It's extremely loud at 100% volume, probably too loud. Would definitely recommend listening to this at 75%. 50% was a little bit too quiet for me. I thought it was a little bit disproportionate, but great speaker. Comes in 4 other different colors. My name is John. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first impressions. Because I picked this up at Best Buy, that makes it a big box good. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Hit that bell icon to get notified when I post to YouTube. And share this video with friends and family. My name is John. Thanks again so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video.